What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 30 of the Stand Up Guys podcast. I'm your host, incomparable Zach Jones, alongside the Donnie Wahlberg to my Mark Wahlberg, Lester Jones. Yeah, I don't know if I complimented either of us on that one.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, is it true? I think I heard this once that like Mark Wahlberg like almost killed a man, like
Some
when he was young.
Asian guy.
Yeah.
He attacked him with like a stick or something.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, the periphery of that story.
It's almost murderer Mark Wahlberg.
Probably called him Marky Mark.
Probably, yeah, something like that.
Not fucking Marky Mark.
And of course, we got the Ninth Wonder, Chocolate Thunder, eating that stink eye and getting that pink eye. Lover of the vag and the tarnished sheriff's badge. He's got 2 for the pink, 1 for the stink, tattooing the ladies with his Indian ink. The phenomenal AJC.
Hello, everyone.
Not your best.
Yeah.
Come on.
I like the other ones more.
Come on. Unappreciated.
You get pink eye from eating the butt? Or?
Apparently
Supposed to
that
be
is...
getting poop particles in your eye.
Yeah,
gives
getting
you pink eye.
Yeah.
okay.
That's the story.
Yeah, I don't know if that's an urban legend or it was on Superbad, so it's got to be true.
Oh.
Well, I don't know how much stuff you experienced this week, AJ, because your guys' power has been off most of the week, right?
Yeah, this week sucked. Been out of electricity. We didn't have cellular data for a couple of days, too.
Oh yeah, the cells were down.
Yeah.
What it was like? It went out Saturday,
Yeah.
and it just came back today.
Yeah.
So it's been Sunday, Monday, Tuesday,
5
Wednesday,
days?
Thursday. Yeah, 5 days, no power.
Yeah. And we were going stir crazy on the first day.
Oh yeah,
We didn't know what to do.
because you didn't have phones or nothing.
Nothing. And like we're all just sitting around quiet. We don't know how to talk to each other.
You start
know?
to appreciate how like addicted you are to things.
Yeah. And then my dad, he started like telling us stories about when he was a kid. When I was a kid, we didn't have power and this and that. And we were like listening.
Yeah. Like, all right, this is the best thing we got going.
Yeah. And then like my dad became like one of those old people who looks out the window all day. He just kept staring out the window. He was like, oh, that person fell. They were walking and they fell.
That was the old entertainment.
That's like the new TV is watching outside.
Yeah. And then we
That
all
was a big one growing up, right?
yeah, we all went upstairs and we started looking out the window.
Yeah. Yeah, I know when I was a kid, it'd be like, oh, the garbage man. Or just random stupid shit. You got to go run to the window.
I mean, me and my cousin, when we were kids, like specifically like waited for the garbage man, and we were excited to see him.
That's a big event.
Just shows you how boring life was.
You know what I hate is when the power goes off. Like, it's so ingrained in my brain. Like, I'll still like turn on light switches and stuff just because like my brain just is automatic. You know?
Oh yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah. Well, did you watch anything new this week?
Well, I mean, I thought we might talk about The Mandalorian because there's that tie-in story.
Yeah, I was figuring we'll probably bring that up.
Yeah, I've just been watching a couple of little random things.
But yeah, I did finish up the little bit of the Mandalorian I had left. Good show.
Yeah, I really like it. But yeah, I don't know. I worked like 1 billion hours this week because everybody called off, and I'm just kicked my ass.
Yeah, we had an ice storm here in Portland, and so apparently, you know, didn't you say like it kind of messed up the buses and things
Yeah,
like that?
they shut off the buses and the metro, and I work with a lot of people who take public transport, so it was bad.
But yeah, I finished up Mandalorian, and I caught the last season of the Clone Wars because I had watched all the previous seasons before, but I hadn't watched the newest one. So I finished that
That's
up.
the cartoon?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty good overall. And then, so I was browsing Disney's movie section, and they have those like, 3 men movies, 3 men and a baby,
saw
3 men and a little lady. And like, I was like, I remember really liking 3 men and a little lady when I was a kid. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this movie out. And man, what a bizarre movie. Like, it's so like Nancy Travis who's like a lovely actress. Like, her character is written so poorly. It's amazing to watch. It's like it's weird because it's like a movie where it's like they got studio notes. They were like, okay, this is a kid's movie. You got to write these people really stupid. And they took that note and they ran with it. It's like weird because they're like all competent actors, you know, like she's a great actress, like, you know, Tom Selleck and Ted Danson. They're all good actors and like they deliver it like as best they can. It's just, it's such weird dialogue in bits. I don't know. I almost feel like we should review it on the show, but nobody's gonna want to do a little lady review. But man, it's like it's not like a garbage movie. It's just so bizarre. Like I don't know how to describe it. Like yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah, I saw that movie like a long time ago. I don't remember it at all.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing is she just decides like she's gonna get married. And like apparently she'll marry anybody. So like she's marrying this guy that's like a piece of shit. And basically at like 3 or 4 different points in the movie, like, you know, Tom Selleck will kind of make a comment and she'll be like, well, why don't you think I should marry this guy? And basically, like, if at any time he would have said, well, because I love you, she'd be like, oh, great, marry me instead of that guy. And that's eventually what he does at the very end of the movie. But, like, yeah, like, any feminist would hate the one she was written. It's terrible. It's so awful.
She has like no agency.
No agency whatsoever. No, it's awful.
Well, gosh, okay.
Yeah, it's so terrible. So yeah, watch 3 Men. I highly recommend it. All right, let's get started with this nonsense. As tradition dictates, AJ, we will start with you.
All right, and as tradition dictates, I have a ridiculous story to start off with. Indonesian woman claims daughter fathered by blast of wind. She's no heir apparent, but heir is her parent. So goes one wild claim from a 25-year-old Indonesian woman who insists her newborn daughter was fathered by wind. According to the Times Now news in India, citing local reports, this gale force miracle begins after the mom finished ahem shooting the breeze with a higher power. After afternoon prayer, I was lying face down, and then suddenly I felt a gust of wind enter my vagina. Local media reportedly quoted Siti Zana as saying, 15 minutes later, while in her living room, Zaina said she started feeling apparent labor pains and went to a medical clinic. 60 minutes after the gust of wind in the West Java province after the wind in the West Java province was said to have impregnated the woman, she gave birth to a 6.4-pound baby girl. The clinic's director speculated Zaina was already pregnant but didn't realize it until her delivery. Local police were quick to draft some details of their own to circulate among the community.
Cop.
The police said, we don't want this matter to foster wild rumors among the public. So they didn't want other people thinking that they could get pregnant from the wind.
This reminds me of that time I was jerking off in a really high windstorm.
Miles and miles.
The butterfly effect. A nut over here can travel all the way around the world.
One lone sperm flying in the breeze.
This is like the whole Mary from the Bible story, like really not wanting you to admit how she got pregnant.
And she used that higher power thing. She just prayed, I guess, or something. So yeah, I first speculated that she must have cheated on her husband or something, but they don't mention that she has a husband even. So yeah, I don't know what she was thinking.
Yeah.
Just another one of those cases where people have like a kid and they don't even know they're pregnant.
Where was this at?
Indonesia, West Java.
Oh, maybe are they one of those places that like you better not have a child out of wedlock? Maybe
Yeah,
that's to the pressure.
it is a pretty conservative country.
So that might have been it.
Yeah, that probably has a lot to do with it. Let me
Or
think.
maybe she was just stupid.
It reminds me of that. There was this fake story going around about a woman who claimed to have gotten pregnant from a porno, a 3D porno.
Oh, right.
Yeah, remember that? And they said that her
Literally
husband,
coming at you in 3D.
her husband was wanting to sue, but it turned out to be a ruse or whatever, the whole thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's my story.
And you're sticking to it. She's sticking to it. All right, should we go manifesto round 1?
And do I have anything good? Oh, I saw a bright spot in the news today. Something I didn't even realize, but Bob Dole's still alive.
Wow.
Yeah, he's 97, but unfortunately he has stage 4 lung cancer.
Oh, that's sad.
Not long for Bob Dole.
No, stage 4. That is.
But he's gonna fight. I guess he's getting treatment on Monday.
Oh, I thought you were making some sort of like weird joke
was a
connection to
terrible
that
joke.
Screech story because that's what he had too.
Yeah,
It's
Oh,
going
he had
around.
lung cancer, Screech.
Yeah, I believe that's what it was.
I didn't know it was lung cancer, but yeah, apparently just out of nowhere, you're like, oh, I got a really bad case.
Bob Dole, a smoker.
I don't know. You're 97.
Still, yeah, 97. That's a pretty good run.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're definitely getting up there. 97.
He beat Rush Limbaugh.
by a lot.
That's not surprising.
Yeah.
Surprising Rush Limbaugh made it this far.
That's true, because if you watched him, he was always like shaking.
Yeah,
and-
he looked like he was 80, but he was probably like 42.
Well, he had like a major pill addiction one time. I remember.
Yeah, that's right. He had
Oxycodone.
Yeah,
or whatever,
that's right.
Oxycontin.
Remember that famous clip of him like making fun of Michael J. Fox and basically saying that Michael J. Fox was faking it?
Yeah,
I vaguely remember that.
I remember that.
God, that's a terrible jump of. It's like your intuition and you're just like something's not firing right in your head at that point. Yeah. Like, even if you thought it was like a 2% chance, that's not a boat you jump on.
Did Michael J. Fox say something to offend him to get that response from him?
Probably, or just endorse some liberal policy that he had a problem with.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't take much to set that guy off.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's the same with most of those conservative, like, pundits. Like, you don't have to do much
Yeah.
to get on their shit list.
Yeah. Remember, what's her name? Ingraham told LeBron James to shut up and dribble, and gosh, there was another one too. There was that reporter that Trump made fun of, like, who was also
Oh,
handicapped.
yeah.
Yeah, that was. How do you even become a politician? How do you make it to any degree of success?
Yeah.
I mean, I think Trump has proven that, like, you really don't have to be politically correct. Just never apologize. Like,
Yeah, double down.
yeah. Double down, triple down, whatever you got to do.
It's that bully, like the bully in like your youth. He can grow up and like continue that same behavior, and it still works. People are like, they gather around and support that.
Yeah, I mean, you get away with it.
Yeah.
Well, I figure for my first topic, I'd go ahead and talk about kind of what you were alluding to earlier. So, like, with The Mandalorian, so, like, one of the actresses in that series is Gina Carano. And, like, basically, Disney phrased it, because I didn't have, like, all the facts of this case. Like, I'm kind of conflicted. I don't know how I feel on it just because I don't know exactly how things went down. But basically, Disney came out and said that they didn't fire her exactly. They said she hasn't worked with them and they don't intend to work with her in the future. So they basically made it sound like they just didn't hire her back, but really it sounds like a firing. But I thought it just happened with this latest tweet she did, and apparently not, because apparently there was a plan. One of those new Disney series that they announced. Remember when I went over that whole list? Like there was one called like Rangers of the New Republic, and I guess like it was thought that was going to be a series that really focused on her character. And then they apparently changed it because they didn't announce that part of it in that December press conference. So basically, though, this latest tweet she made, it was kind of a weird tweet because it basically compared being a conservative today to being a Jew during like Holocaust times. And it didn't come across as she was being like anti-Semitic. It was just, to me, like a really weird take, and like not a good take. Like,
She was basically, there was something on the lines like the conservative people are being, like a form of persecution, like they're being blacklisted.
Yeah. So it was a kind of a harsh, comparison.
And
But
then they're like, you're blacklisted.
but I didn't. Well, and that's what I'm getting at is I think they got rid of her before that tweet because apparently she's had a history of saying things that ruffled feathers. Like for one, I guess at one point, like in her Twitter bio where it says like pronouns, she put like beep bop boop, like kind of making
I was trying to think of some stupid ass thing to put in.
making light of that, and so that ruffled some feathers. No, like don't get me wrong, that's like a kind of smart assy thing to do. But even I, like someone who's like, for trans rights and everything, like I've made light of the whole like Zimzer thing, like not in a shitty way, but there's like is a degree of silliness there. I've never had any malintent though. And then I guess she's like posted things like anti-vaxxer stuff, and she posted like stuff basically in favor of saying that the election was stolen from Trump. Just kind of, the outlandish, far right stuff that I see in my Facebook feed from my relatives, that kind of shit. And so part of me is like, I don't know if has said, now I can't pretend to know everything she's ever posted. So, maybe at one point she did post something that was over the line. I don't know. But like, if it's just this kind of stuff, like obviously she's somebody who couldn't be further from me politically, but I don't know if any of those things are bad enough that they should have fired her. But at the same time, the reason I can't say I totally disagree with Disney is if they gave her enough heads up, and gave her several warnings, which they very well may have done. She might have just dug her own grave. So I don't really know. What do you think on it?
I mean, in general, I'm against the whole cancel culture. I mean, there's room to let people have their own beliefs. I mean, even if they're outlandish. And I don't know, it's just too much. I'm tired of it, and I feel like it's barely started. I
mean, I will say I get it to the point of like on the business side of things, where if they think she is alienating a large enough amount of their audience to where it's actually costing them money, I understand it. Like if somebody actually like says something that's genuinely like homophobic or racist, that's gonna cut off a segment of their fan base to their show, like that I understand, because that's going to hit them in the pocketbook. But something like along the lines of these comments she's made, I haven't heard one yet that I'm like, yeah, they should fire her.
Yeah.
So it's what do you think about this? Because I heard other people discussing this, and like a guy was talking about how he took a job once where basically as a condition of employment, because he was working at some sort of publication, and they're like, if you're going to work here, you can't show, a political bias. So you can't make any tweets that are political in nature, because like, this is a paper, and we don't want to show like we're skewed one way or the other. And like as a condition of employment, he agreed to that. But do you think it's fair of a company to ask an employee not to post political comments?
I mean, it seems more fair that you're just being upfront about it. It's not like you're just going along and they're like, oh, here you go, fuck off.
Now, what would you think if Disney was like to people they're employing is like, hey, we don't like conservative stuff. We don't want you to post that kind of stuff. Would that be fair?
I mean, ultimately, I still think it's okay. I mean,
as long as they're upfront about it.
Well, I mean, I think it's morally easier. Like, if they don't want to hire, I feel like if you don't want to hire somebody for any reason whatsoever, then that should be your business, because it is your business.
Well, it can't be for any reason, like sex, race, that sort of thing.
Even then, I wouldn't care.
What, really?
If someone wants to open Nazi donuts over here, I'm just not going to buy anything from them. I mean, I'm sure some people would, but...
Well, let's say they don't open something as blatant as Nazi donuts. They just open a regular donut shop, but then they refuse to hire anybody of color. And you as a consumer probably wouldn't even notice.
Somebody would tell me. Come on.
Okay.
I'm gonna know.
But it's not like, they tell the applicants they reject, oh, we rejected you based on your race. They, it might not be something that's super apparent.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like run your business the way you want, and if that doesn't fit people's whatever, then they shouldn't buy from you.
Well, I just feel like
I mean,
people
I still buy from Amazon. I don't agree with everything they do.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing is, it just seems silly to try to regulate everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just like, I remember like on a really early episode, maybe like episode 2, we kind of went over the tweets that the guy that plays Ralph Dibny on The Flash made that got him fired, and kind of thought, even though there were like some weird tweets in there, like none of them I don't think warranted him getting fired. And so, yeah,
we debated that one right there. He had some stuff I thought was weird, but I don't remember it right now.
it was weird, but it wasn't. It seemed like he was trying for a joke, and it just didn't land,
Yeah.
But to me, he didn't tweet anything that would warrant him getting fired.
But at the end of the day, I mean, unless it was like somebody really crazy, like I wouldn't stop watching Disney or anybody because of an actor. I mean, if it was like Hitler, then might be like, nah, I don't want to support this channel. But I don't know.
I got to say, the cancel culture stuff hits me worse when it is somebody obviously going for a joke, because it's just like when Disney fired James Gunn years ago, because he made,
he's back on, right?
yeah, they eventually like came to their senses and hired him back on, but he had made some bad Twitter jokes like 10 years prior or something, and they fired him. And it's like, not only had there been that much time that passed, but like you could obviously tell, like even though maybe they were bad jokes, you could tell he was going for a joke.
10 years later, you're not the same person usually. It's
not only that, but like, are you telling me that nobody on the Disney PR team knew about that before they hired him to do Guardians 1?
Yeah.
I bet you somebody knew. But yeah, I bet we're going to continue in the future to have some of these cancel culture conversations. It's kind of becoming a regular thing.
I think it's just going to be something that personally chafes my butt, but at the end of the day, I'll support, hiring, firing who they want.
You got to figure, though, eventually there's going to be a rubber band effect.
I think so. And even like that Gina, like she got picked up by Ben Shapiro, and I guess she's going to have I don't know if it's like a piece or bid or.
That's so weird, though. Yeah, I heard about that. Like, I don't know if they're making a movie or what, but that's going to suck, whatever.
Yeah, I think so.
No, I think she said something about fighting a cancel culture, and like, so I don't know. I'm guessing she's going to be like a pundit or something.
I mean, maybe.
I thought she was going to do like a movie.
Yeah, I thought I heard there was going to be a movie or something.
Maybe it is a movie. I don't know.
But it's like Ben Shapiro isn't in, like, does he make movies? It's so weird and random.
I think it's just to capitalize on it. Like, she's got a fan base. Let's make a movie. Let's try to get some money out of it. Because they make those Christian movies all the time, too.
That's the thing. It's going to be like one of those, only,
Anytime the pendulum swings one way, you can be sure it's going to swing back the other way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we'll get away from it. But it just seems frivolous and, like, I don't know. It just doesn't sit with me very well.
Yeah, me either.
I don't mind it.
All right, AJ, we'll swing it back to you.
Part of what it is it just feels like the mob mentality, and it's like everything I don't like about humanity and I feel is stupid is kind of encapsulated. And so I think that's part of what drags me into it.
Yeah, but that same thing is like racism and all that other stuff. Like,
well, I'm not pining up for racism either.
Yeah, but this is how you fight it. Like, that is the rubber band to racism, isn't it? Like, that is the other side of it.
Well, I mean, Well, yeah, there definitely, I think, was a rubber band there. And the thing is, like, I felt like things were a lot calmer for, like, the last 20 years than they are right now, which is kind of weird.
Quieter, like, not so spoken of. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly what that's about, but But yeah, it fluctuates.
All right. Rihanna poses topless with Lord Ganesha pendant, upsetting Hindus. Hindu leaders are demanding an apology from Rihanna after she wore a Lord Ganesha pendant in a topless photo shoot. The Bhajan pop
Okay,
superstar.
wait, pause. Aren't there a bunch of temples with like Ganesh and like a bunch of chicks with their tits out? all over the
Yeah.
place?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, go ahead. I was like, I don't
And
know.
are these photos available somewhere?
It's like statues. The Bhajan pop star wore nothing but purple lavender satin boxers from the latest Savage Fenty men's line in the Valentine's Day Instagram post, which featured the pendant on a long necklace dangling by her navel, and America's leading Hindus were far from impressed. Statesman Rajan Zed is leading the outcry, insisting on an apology. Lord Ganesha is highly revered in Hinduism and is meant to be worshipped in temples or home shrines, not to be used as a fashion statement to push a sexy lingerie line or become a tool for sexy fashion, he told Wen. The inappropriate usage of sacred Hindu deities or concepts or symbols or icons for commercial or other agenda is not okay as it hurts the devotees. It is deeply offensive to trivialize Lord Ganesha in such a manner. Zed has also called on Rihanna to immediately remove the objectionable picture from her social media accounts. Many devotees wear a Lord Ganesha pendant or short necklace on a regular basis to express their reverence and devotion to Lord Ganesha, but wearing it as a fashion accessory in a one-time photo shoot in this disrespectful manner is quite out of line, he rages. Perhaps Rihanna should undergo training in religious and cultural sensitivity, so she has a better understanding of the feelings of others. In Hinduism, Lord Ganesha is worshipped as the god of wisdom. Zed's comments fall on Ganesha Jayanti, Ganesha's birthday. I mean, so, like Lester mentioned, there are like always statues and stuff like that of women around and that are kind of provocative. And I don't know. I don't think this is a bad thing that she did. I think it's, it kind of shows like, hey, this is a pop star who's famous, kind of giving reverence to a
Did you find
religion.
This doesn't have Ganesh, but some chongas on that statue.
Is Rihanna Hindu or what?
No, she's a Bhajan. I guess, where's that from?
I don't know, I'm not sure.
She's like from the Caribbean.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Something like that.
Yeah. But, she has recently gotten into, she said a couple things about Indian politics. I think Hindus are kind of already upset with her because she spoke on the Indian, the farmers that have been striking.
Right.
And she mentioned something in support of them. And a lot of, Bollywood actors, a lot of, high-level Indian people are like, who are nationalistic, are upset with her because her views, for supporting those farmers are different from theirs. They don't support those farmers. They support the BJP party, who is like the party that's in charge of India. So I think this is just backlash for that. And now that she wore one of, the Hindu gods around her neck, like they're just going after her.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Some cultures are kind of sensitive to that, but in most of the cases, I think it's kind of silly.
Yeah, people need to lighten
Like
up.
stuff that's like ceremonial, like with the American Indians and stuff. I can kind of see that, but
But this guy, like,
depends.
in India, people use gods like crazy to sell stuff.
right,
They're like
everywhere.
They're like Guru this, Lord this. Like everything is named after a god. So like for this guy to say like, don't use our god to sell your stuff. It's like, man, people have been doing like that's everything you do. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's a bad. Like I'm Sikh. If a person wore like the Sikh symbol, the khanda,
Right.
I'd be like, hey, look, the word's getting out. We're getting popular, guys.
Man,
I
you
don't know if
remember?
that's the one I'm thinking of, but there's like there's very popular ones, right? Couple of symbols.
We have the one with the two swords that are crossed, and then like
Okay, that's not the one I was thinking of, but yeah, I think I have seen that.
You remember when W was president and like John Ashcroft had like some statues covered that were like nude statues because he was all like uptight. So fucking weird.
yeah.
Do you remember that statue at when we were growing up? There's an older couple, Granny and Lyle, but like I don't know if it was from like one of his tours of duty or something, but he had like a naked statue, or like the breasts were out or something. It was like a pinup girl, but like she had it all covered up.
Oh, I don't remember that.
But yeah, I don't know. Random memory.
But yeah, I don't know. Some people have really weird hang-ups about that sort of shit.
Isn't idolatry like against Christianity?
Yeah, I believe that's one of the things.
But like the cross, like everybody wears a cross. Isn't that like an idol, or is that considered different?
I'm guessing it's different.
I forgot all my Sunday school teaching.
It's not a golden pig. I know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Or golden calf, wasn't it?
Yeah, golden calf. I was like golden,
Not
pig.
yeah. Making up a couple things.
All right, should we go manifesto round 2?
Man, guys, I really don't have a ton. I guess like there's a thing in Australia where they passed some law where if you share or publish like news stories, like there has to be a payment. I don't know if that's to the government, but like it was applying to like Facebook and Google and all these. So like if they post Australian news, like they were supposed to have to pay it, so they ended up like pulling all these news things from like everybody's feed and everything. And so it's like if you're there, you can't even like view it because they don't want you to be able to share it, because then there's supposed to be a law where they get charged, and it just sounded like there's something really stupid. But yeah, Facebook, Google, a couple others they're trying to negotiate something, but like I guess you can't get news right now or from those sites.
And that's going on like everywhere, or just Australia?
That's it's some Australian law that's causing a problem.
So I mean, how does Google pull the news from? I always see like when I pull up Google News, I see like a little bit of the news, not much.
Right. They usually have, they have Google News. You can go and get a feed, and it has local feeds and different stuff. So yeah, they're trying to negotiate some of that stuff. But I think Facebook, they actually blocked it. Like if you try to share a news story, like you can't.
Oh wow. I mean, that just
It just seems silly.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I want more of that stuff like in my hands as soon as possible, like available to me.
Right, that's the whole point. Like, you want to see those stories.
I mean, isn't it just going to be bad for the news outlets? Like, if people aren't going, like, to...
I mean, unless it's, like, trying to force you to buy newspapers again. It's like...
But nobody's going to buy newspapers
Yeah,
again.
nobody's going to do that.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I finally, also, like, this last week... I finally watched that Netflix documentary, The Social Dilemma, that's all about social media, because it had a bunch of buzz. And like, I don't know if I really learned much in it that I didn't already kind of know about. But, you know, it talks about how, like, you know, depending on where you live, like, your Google search might be different. Like they were talking about, like, if you type in, like, you know, climate change is, like, depending on where you live, the autofill might say, like, a hoax or... You know,
well, it also goes on your search history. So if if you've shown predilections to be like a conspiracy theorist,
it'll feed you that
it'll
kind
feed
of stuff.
you more of the crazy shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can get in some weird loops with that stuff.
Jeez, anybody with like a little bit of a problem can really go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah,
That's bad.
Man, and I definitely heard, you know, how like, you know, social media has caused like, you know, suicides and like teenagers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but like
stuff.
I wish I would have wrote down the stats, but like the amount, like percentage increase of like teens that have committed suicide, like it went up like a crazy amount. I forgot what it was, but like enough that I was like, damn, I wouldn't have guessed that much, you know.
Like today, there's more suicide than before?
Since social media took off.
That makes sense, because you could just bully somebody all the time that way.
Yeah, they say it's like a combination of that and then just like people, you know, seeing what other people got and like feeling like, you know, lesser than and that kind of stuff too.
And constant comparison.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a really large spike in suicides.
Wow.
All right, so my topic here, this is something I remember like hearing about like a long time ago, and like I don't know if it's complete bullshit or not, but I thought it was kind of interesting. So like basically it's about how like like if you're a sibling, like the order you're born in might make you more compatible with another person based on their sibling order, like firstborn, lastborn, middleborn.
I know the oldest is the smartest.
All right, Donnie Wall.
But this might be relevant to you. If you are a firstborn, your best match is somebody that's a lastborn. Worst match is another firstborn. According to a study by Walter Thoman, a professor of clinical psychology at the University of Nuremberg in Germany,
Probably because you remind each other of your siblings.
you have pretty good odds of a successful marriage if you're a firstborn who marries a lastborn. Lehman says that is because there's an opposite attract thing going on. The firstborn is more type A and teaches the lastborn little things about organization, whereas the lastborn helps keep the atmosphere light and reminds the firstborn not to take everything so seriously. According to the study, the best possible match is a firstborn female with a lastborn male because their needs are in harmony with each other. A firstborn with another firstborn. Lehman writes, is likely to be a power struggle. They tend to bump heads because firstborns can be perfectionists and like having things done their own way, so it's all a matter of control. That doesn't mean you're doomed from the start, though. Oh, for example, Hillary and Bill Clinton, who have been married 41 years, are both firstborns. To learn to let go,
What a
Lehman...
great relationship.
Yeah. To learn to let go, Lehman writes that you should stop trying to improve your spouse and instead bite your tongue and stop criticizing. He also says that you should define your roles carefully so there's no power play over who pays the bills or does the shopping. Firstborn middle child relationships can be confusing for firstborns because middle children can be closed off and bad at communicating their feelings. Lehman says that these couples should learn to open up to each other more. And firstborn should encourage middle children to speak by asking things like, what do you think? Tell me how you really feel, or tell me more. I'm not going to read the other ones in detail, but I'll just go through them. So if you are a middle child, your best match is a lastborn. Worst match is another middle child. And that seems to be like the thing, is you don't want to be with someone who's in your same order. And then, let's see... If you are a lastborn, yeah, best match is firstborn. Worst match is another lastborn. And I think somewhere, maybe not this article, but I read somewhere where they say only children tend to be more like firstborn, so they just kind of substitute them in, the firstborn.
All right, first and last, we're the best. Let's cut out the middle and force them to be together.
That's the thing, though. But they say that the middle should be with. But apparently, the lastborns are the most desirable because firstborns and middle should be with lastborns. So AJ, me and you, we're prime territory.
Let's get out there.
Find some firstborns.
I
Put
might-
that on your Tinder.
I might look for
Are you a firstborn woman?
I might look for some middleborns who are lonely.
Now, do you think there's any truth to that? Like, do you think you and Roman are both like two Type A personalities?
Maybe to an extent. Like, I have had that kind of idea that there's the opposites. Where you have if you have two people like pushing their agenda, it's like much more difficult than if one is kind of assertive and the other one's kind of passive, because then it just fits together a little bit better, I think. So I have thought about that dynamic before. But also like the introverted extroverted dynamic. I think I have that a bit.
It's weird because like, I guess I am very passive. And introverted, but at the same time, I would say I have a very like Type A personality. Like I'm someone who like has, lots of anxiety, hates being late to shit. Is very on top of things as much as I can. That sort of thing. Like very antsy about things. So, like it's kind of as a lastborn. I definitely have more of a Type A personality. I guess. So, I don't know.
I'm definitely more carefree. Yeah. I just think be happy. Don't worry about the other things in life so much.
So, see, you need like a woman that's going to keep you in line.
Yeah. Firstborn.
I was thinking carefree. I feel like I'm fairly carefree, but at the same time, I'm kind of focused sometimes, I think. So, I don't know. It's kind of a mix.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of a weird combination of the two. I don't know. All right, AJ, I'll send it back to you.
All right. Man rushed to hospital after putting ring on penis in desperate bid to make it bigger. A man's penis was left uncontrollably swollen after he tried enlarging it with a metal ring for Valentine's Day. So it worked, right? Like it's
Well, don't people use cock rings to like hold
Yeah,
an
but
erection?
like, you don't want to like cut off circulation.
Yeah.
yeah.
You
You're
have
gonna
to like cut it off.
You're going to see there's a little difference here. The unnamed hopeless romantic wanted to impress his date and had heard a simple trick using only the contents of his toolbox could do the job. Instead, in a horror turn of events, the metal rings became stuck, forcing medics to carefully slice through it with a metal cutter. He told medics, "I was terrified that I would need my penis amputated. It had swollen up so much that I thought it would burst." The man from Bangkok, Thailand, believed that by putting his penis through a nut, it would enlarge and strengthen it by forcing blood into the glands. However, after using baby oil to slide his member into the nut, the next day his penis started to swell. He began experiencing pain and was unable to remove it. He called the emergency services on Saturday afternoon, having had the nut jammed around the base of his penis since Friday morning. They arrived at his house and he was rushed to a hospital. Eye-wincing pictures and videos show how medics had to use a metal cutter to slice through the nut.
It's better than taking off with like a wrench, I guess. You just screw it off.
As the man clung to the rails in pain. The operation took over an hour. Paramedics discovered the man's swollen member stuck in a tiny metal nut with a diameter of 3 centimeters and 1.5 centimeters thick. Doctors used a handheld steel tool, a pair of pliers, and a thin metal sheet to avoid the slide under the ring and avoid the man's skin from being cut. Rescue volunteers said the man cried with pain throughout the 1 hour-long cutting process. Despite the painful procedure, the doctor and volunteers managed to remove the ring without leaving a single scratch on the man's penis. He was given antibiotics and anti-inflammatory cream to reduce the swelling. I mean, that's the best present you could give a girl for Valentine's Day. You tried to give her a big penis. It didn't work, but you tried.
Man, couldn't they have given that guy, like, put him out or gave him a shot or, like, a local anesthetic or something? Man.
Yeah.
Poor
It's like, just put me to sleep, and if everything goes wrong, just kill me.
If you can't save the dick, don't save me.
I will go down with this dick.
It's amazing what people are willing to do to themselves.
Yeah. Oh,
But yeah, there you go.
that's a fun day at the doctor's office.
It'd be funny if, like, when he called it, they're like, yeah, it's Greg again. He did it again.
They don't even sell them those rings at the hardware store anymore.
It's like that one Family Guy.
He's got a poster up. Do not sell nuts to this guy.
It's like that one Family Guy with Quagmire. Yeah, it's stuck in a window this time.
Oh my God, this reminds me of a story that somebody told me, like, this old guy had like at this Indian wedding that I went to. It was like a long event, days long. So we got to know each other over time. And he told me that he used to, when he was younger, jerk off by sticking his dick into a hole in a brick wall. Yeah. I mean, if that doesn't chafe your dick, then I don't know what will.
Brick wall.
And I wasn't the one bringing up these topics either. Right. It was him.
He's like, got to keep this party rolling.
Maybe he did.
Electricity.
Maybe he didn't understand, like, the point of the glory hole. Is there someone on the other side?
He's like, the 2-foot thick brick wall. Let's go with that.
Yeah, I figure you could find a watermelon or something. Jesus.
Yeah.
She's a brick.
She's literally a brick.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, you got something else for us?
Not really, man. I was going to have a little something about unemployment, immigration, but that's garbage. On one note, during the big snowstorm down in Texas, Ted Cruz flew his family to Cancun.
Yeah. He's catching shit for that. I mean, that's true, though. If you're going to act like you're a man of the people and everything.
Yeah, I guess see you later, suckers. This shit sucks.
Yeah. I had a girlfriend. Remember Angela?
Yeah.
She used to, like, babysit at Ted Cruz's house.
Oh, okay.
For his family. His wife was... I heard... She said that they were kind of, like, assholes.
Yeah.
And, yeah, they asked a lot for her. She was supposed to be a babysitter, but they'd be like, can you wash the dishes? Can you do this? Can you pick
Right.
up this? And I'd be like, dang.
Yeah. I got nothing.
Nothing. Okay, I found some news that you'll appreciate. There's some new shows. Like one of them's not a for sure thing yet, but they're looking to make a revival of CSI, like a reboot, not with the same cast.
Did it
but
ever stop, or isn't that like one of those ones where there was like 14 versions of it?
Well, yeah. So they had CSI Miami
CSI North
and CSI
Dakota.
New York. I didn't care for either of those. I didn't get into them. But the original CSI, like especially for like the first 6 or 7 seasons, solid show, really good. And then you'll appreciate this. HBO Max announces new adult animated shows, including a Velma Dinkley origin story.
Ooh.
HBO Max
Wait, what?
has announced series orders for 3 new adult animated shows, including a Scooby-Doo spinoff that will tell the origin story of Velma Dinkley.
Was she molested by her uncle?
Oh god.
And
Why am I like this?
this is actually kind of odd, too, a revival of Clone High. Do you remember that cartoon?
That's sad. Oh, was that the one with like Abe Lincoln?
Yeah, like they're
Yeah, I
high school
remember that,
students,
yeah.
and they're all like, yeah. The original and comedic series, aptly titled Velma, will unmask the complex and colorful past of the unappreciated brains of the Scooby-Doo Mystery Inc. gang. Velma Dinkley, voiced by executive producer Mindy Kaling, Charlie Grandy, Howard Klein, and Sam Register will also be serving as executive producers on the 10-episode series. Now, I don't know why you've always had like an unnatural hatred of Scooby-Doo for some reason. Even like as a kid, you didn't like it.
Really, you put it on for the kids all the time.
Yeah, they like it.
Like when we were kids, like he always busted my balls for watching Scooby-Doo. He was always like, "Oh, Fred,
Yeah.
they're all gay. Like Fred's gay,
There's a lot of gay-
Shaggy's gay."
There's definitely a lot of gay arguments. But it was backed up in the show sometimes.
Never.
Like they'd be like hiding in a flour bag and be like bouncing across the floor or something together. You're like, what the fuck is this? I don't know. I'm just making sure.
I know, like he told me once that like anytime like Shag and Scoob pass like a painting where like the eyes follow him, it's like Fred looking on and like jacking off. But the other reason like these stories caught my eye, the CSI and the Scooby-Doo one, is because maybe I've talked about this before, but I always thought it'd be cool to do like a live action show that's basically Scooby-Doo meets CSI, where the gang's like a little older and like they're CSIs and like they're actually tracking down like real killers. Like that would be fucking cool.
So they break out the black light and there's like jizz everywhere.
Yeah.
Holy
she was
Batman.
raped 18 times.
Sure. Yeah. You see where her fingernails broke off in the wood right there. What the fuck is this shit?
You can tell she looked for help, but she couldn't find anybody.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
What? No, that would be fucking great. Like they're hunting, and like every season, like I imagine they have like their villain of the week type of thing. But then like maybe they're tracking down like a guy that actually like puts on a vampire mask and is like a serial killer. And like at the end of the season, they find the big bad killer of the whole season.
Like Dexter.
Yeah, there'd be like a lot of
Yeah.
other shows then too, though, wouldn't it?
Well, sure, I mean, but that's fine. I think it'd be cool. You're telling me you wouldn't watch Scooby-Doo meets CSI?
I don't know.
Crime Scoob Investigation.
Would it actually be funny? Like, would there be any funny stuff in it?
No, it'd be, to me it'd be more serious. Like, and Scoob wouldn't be like a dog that talks. He'd just be like a Great Dane that like, can like, maybe smell drugs and shit and like helps them, To me, totally, it'd be more CSI than Scooby-Doo, but it would still have those characters,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not on board with this.
Come on, man.
Did you slip him some weed?
Come on, CBS, hire me to write this thing, and I'll show you. I'll write a spec script, and you'll love it. All right, AJ, I'll send it back to you.
All right. Fetish models are selling vagina-scented masks and charge double if it's stained with urine. That's
Oh, so this is like the panty thing, only you just do it with a mask, like shoved down.
yeah.
Yeah, they've been talking about this on Tom Segura.
Oh, they have. Okay. There really is no
The
crisis.
period one costs extra.
Oh god.
Oh God.
There really is no crisis so great that someone can't make an opportunity out of it. And for the women who sell their used knickers on fetish sites like Sniffer and All Things Worn, the pandemic has opened up a new possibility. Face masks that smell of their intimate areas. The face masks, typically disposable surgical masks, are kept inside the seller's underwear or in another intimate spot for long enough to pick up a scent before being sold on the site for up to $250. They're often sold in conjunction with private photos showing the seller naked or with just mask on. One seller who uses the name Lady Sniffs told Vice, "A lot of my clientele fetishize scents, so being able to have a mask full of my fragrances pressed tightly in their face and being able to deeply inhale my scents can be a highly euphoric and erotic experience for some." She says that she used to sell used socks, but started selling face masks a few months ago due to public demand. If a mask has just been pressed against her body for 24 hours, she charges $5. But the price doubles if she urinated on it, she says. Another seller who goes under the name Sydney77 Tan Lines on the Reddit used panties forum has been selling used masks for about 3 months. She says that buyers like her masks because they can share something very private and intimate with me right out in the open in public. In her ad, she writes, "How about I spice up your mask a bit? You can go anywhere in the world and have a dirty little secret. Your mask looks ordinary, but little do they know, inside your mask smells like my pussy."
Okay, so let's go buy a bunch of masks, and we'll just do this, and one of you can like sell them.
I mean, $5 a mask. Those masks are like, what, 60 cents or something?
Yeah, it seems like if you were good looking, you could do better.
I mean, I'll put my sweaty balls in a mask for a day and sell this.
I'll have some swamp ass all day. Mask.
Taint mask.
Taint your ordinary mask.
Man, Tom Segura, they showed this video of this guy that was basically doing kind of like an unboxing, but like he bought some used panties online, and he's like, okay, so the seller said she like wore them for 3 days and like didn't wash or something, and I don't remember exactly what he said, but he takes them out. He's like, okay, let's give these a go, and he's like, oh yeah, that's nice, and then he's like, oh, and then here's where like her ass would be, and he's like, oh yeah, there's some shit. Oh yeah. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe so many of these guys exist. Jesus.
Yeah. There was some other person who was selling bath water. I think we talked about that maybe?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Belle Delphine or whatever.
Yeah.
Then they're all circulating pictures of her with having herpes.
Oh, are they?
She had like cold sores.
Oh, no. Oh, gosh. You don't want that bath water.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are crazy. I mean, the libido on these men who are buying this, like, it must be really high to get off to these panties that have, like, shit stains and stuff like that. That's next level. I mean, yeah.
I mean, kudos for being such an entrepreneur.
I mean, but man, if you're a woman, like, why not do this?
Yeah, you could do anything as a woman.
Yeah, I don't know. We got filters these days.
You know what I want to do? I want to see if I can sell a pair of Dad's underwear.
You should have him sell your underwear because he could make up a great story about it.
There's 20-year-old underwear, just a waistband and
But yeah, you-
racing stripe.
You should see some of my dad's underwear because, like, it'll be like, tidy whities, big old skid marks in them, pulled holes in them, like insane.
They're just barely holding on.
Like, I want to see that guy, like, oh yeah, I can really smell this shit.
This is some vintage underwear.
Oh yeah, they haven't sold these since the 1980s. Oh God. Oh man. All right, AJ, I'll pass it back to you.
All right. Okay, this is my last topic. Life-size sex doll called Kitty stolen by two men in 8,400-pound raid. Two men have been caught on CCTV stealing a life-size sex doll from a sex shop. Police in Melbourne, Australia are hunting for two thieves who they believe broke into the shop and stole almost $15,000 worth of goodies. Investigators believe the men used a metal pole to smash the window at an adult store, Airport West Sexyland. Detectives determined the robbers made off with around $10,000 worth of vibrators and $4,500 worth of life-size sex doll named Kitty. The brand of doll stands at 165 centimeters tall and comes in a range of bust and waist sizes. It is also customizable by hair and eye color and skin tone. Authorities in Australia claim stealing of sex dolls is on the rise as people look to combat loneliness during the pandemic. The two men drove away in a white Ford Ranger with stolen number plates, and police are still yet to make any arrests. Police say Kitty's head was detached in a quick getaway, and it was found later in the car park. 4 years ago, a different Sexyland store in Melbourne was targeted, and a thief stole a $4,500 life-size doll called Dorothy. CCTV showed the man arriving at the store in Moorabbin, near Melbourne, in a white Ford Transit van in the early hours of the morning. Authorities worked on the theory the thief used bolt cutters to get through the fence and a fire hydrant to break into the shop. Each lifelike sex doll is developed from superior material. So, yeah. But, I mean, sex dolls getting stolen on the rise, man. That's crazy.
And they can't share the news on social media.
Yeah.
They'll never catch this guy.
Two guys. So this one guy got another guy on board to steal a sex doll.
The thing is, you said they're like, oh, they stole $5,000 worth of dildos. Well, how are you going to move $5,000 worth of dildos or something?
Yeah. Like, are you just going to, like, wherever lonely women are and, like, trying to
looking around, it's like, hey, are you tired of humping that brick wall over there? We got a flashlight for you.
Yeah, and also, if you're the second guy, like, you're going to fight. Are you going to go second on that sex doll? Like, are you going to wait for the first guy?
Well, yeah, so if you think about it, one guy was the mastermind.
Yeah.
And then he had to talk somebody else.
Yeah.
Well, hey, depending on the sex doll, it might have two holes.
Well, that's true.
Oh,
Some deep. Yeah.
like you can share.
They can just hug it.
I'll have it on Mondays and Wednesdays. You can have it on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
This headless sex doll.
We never clean it.
You know me, man. I'm by the seat of my pants. I don't clean it.
And you can sell it to some pervert who wants like a used sex doll.
Make it like
Oh, yeah, you can sell it online. Yeah.
it's like the odd couple. Like one of them's like, "Did you come in the sex doll again and not clean it?"
Jeez, Mark, every time.
Oh yeah, you were out of topics,
I'm
right?
done.
Well, we're almost to an hour. Man, I wish I had like a fun story to go out on, but we'll go with the depressing one. So this will make people worried about the pandemic real happy, and this is news related to Oregon as well. 4 people in Oregon who received both doses of vaccine test positive for coronavirus. There are 2 cases each in Yamhill and Lane counties, the state's health authority said. 4 people in Oregon have tested positive for the coronavirus after receiving both doses of the COVID-19 vaccine, health officials said. There are 2 cases, man, why do they repeat so much? There are 2 cases each in Yamhill and Lane counties, the state's health authority said in a series of tweets on Friday. The cases are either mild or asymptomatic. We are working with our local and federal public health partners to investigate and determine case origin, the agency said. Genome sequencing is underway and we expect results next week. The agency referred to the individuals who tested positive as breakthrough cases, meaning that they got sick with the virus at least 14 days after receiving both doses. The health authority said more breakthrough cases could pop up. Quote, clinical trials of both vaccines presently in use include breakthrough cases. In those cases, even though the participants got COVID, the vaccines reduced the severity of illness, the agency said in a tweet. Based on what we know about vaccines for other diseases and early data from clinical trials, experts believe that getting a COVID-19 vaccine may also help keep you from getting seriously ill, even if you do get the virus. getting as many Oregonians as possible vaccinated remains a critical objective to ending the pandemic. It goes on, but yeah, basically these people got both doses of the vaccine and still ended up getting it. But sounds like, even if you get it, it might lessen your symptoms, but it still sucks that, you can still get it.
Yeah, I also heard that if they leave it out for too long, it loses its, like strength and stuff, so its potency. Maybe that's something that had to do with it. I know there was a guy who got arrested who was also like, leaving it out for a long time and making sure that it didn't work. And he exposed a bunch of doses like that, so.
Oh, yeah, I read a thing related to, the whole, power issue they're having in Texas, which is another thing possible topic I might talk about that next week maybe. But, they're having the power grid problem in Texas, and I guess that's another issue is because those vaccines, they have to be at like a certain temperature. Mm-hmm. And so, a lot of them are at risk of getting out of the temperature they need to be at because of the power outages. So that's another fun thing related to that, I guess.
But I would still get the vaccine when it's available to me. I'm not
Yeah,
deterred.
I will too. I'm not deterred, but, it just...
Yeah, it's just kind of scary.
Yeah, just kind of a shitty thing, but... Mm-hmm. All right. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to talk about?
I got nothing.
I'm good.
All right, guys. So anybody watching or listening, thank you for doing so. If you will, please comment, subscribe. Definitely. Like if you're someone who has routinely listened, please subscribe. It does help a lot.
Send Zach some used panties.
Yes, make sure
we'll do an unboxing on camera.
Heavier on the pussy, lighter on the shit, please.
Beggars can't be choosers.
That's true. We'll do an on-air sniffing and review. Make sure to watch Three Men and a Little Lady and let me know what you think. God, you guys should watch it. I swear to God, it's something. Guys, where can people find you on the Twitter?
I am a name for this too, and that is the number 2.
At unsolicited SUG.
And you can find me at Zach Jones Live. That's ZachJonesLive. And that is going to do it for all of our poppycock and shenanigans this week. Please, please, please tune in again next week. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Take care, guys.